Hello there, this is Daniel Kilburn with Emergency Action Planning and the Act ASAP podcast. The word of the week for April 4th, 2022 is other. What exactly is the other? Well, if you look at the dictionary, it encompasses many different things. But what I look at in some way, shape, or form is it can be something that's different, something that's not expected, something separate from what's normal or opposite of what we're used to. That's just myopically speaking. The word other can also be used in many different things. Now, when I think of other or others, I am usually thinking about the other things that I should be thinking about that I'm not thinking about right now. I know. There's that saying, we don't know what we don't know, so we can't think about it, which is quite true. Sometimes we don't know what we don't know, and that's why we need to think about it. So let me tell you a little story. Many years ago, when I was actively in the military, and most of you know I'm retired now, I was traveling on a regular basis, monthly, across the country, across the state, and I always needed to pack. And over a period of time, I kept recognizing, dang it, I forgot that thing. Dang it, I should have brought that. I needed it. So, Drill Sergeant Daniel got smart, and I made myself a checklist. Yes, I did. I made myself a packing checklist, and I pulled that puppy out every time I had to pack and leave, because it had everything I needed on it, and some things that I was just thinking maybe I should put there as superfluous stuff. Over a period of time, I recognized that I did not have many things I needed. Over a period of time, I recognized that things change, times change. You know, the weather changes, that means your clothes change. I discovered that because of the mission parameters or what I was going to do, I would probably need to bring different things with me. So what that forced me to do, and it really did, I put a new category on my checklist. It was called Other. A big square box to the left of it so I could check it off. So what that forced me to do was think about the other thing, whatever that other thing might be. And I can guarantee you that many times that was very useful and productive, that it made me think about something that was not on the checklist, something I would not be thinking about. Now, I do like checklists. Checklists are very simple. They keep us organized and focused. But the problem with a checklist is there is not the other thing on it. All right, let me say that again. The problem with our checklists, if we're so myopically focused on that list, we are not thinking about the other thing that is not on the checklist. So that's a very important thing to realize when we're doing or building our emergency action plans for our family and our loved ones, because there will be some other that's going to come bite us in the backside. So a couple ways to look at this if you want to recognize or think about things. One thing you can do is contact your local Office of Emergency Management and ask them for their THIRA, THIRA, which stands for the Threat and Hazard Assessment Guide. Now, every county has one. They're mandated to have one by the federal government in order to get their money. That's right, so they have one. And what it does is it outlines the risks that the combined group of people came up with that we need to prepare for. And there might be some things on that list you have not thought about, so it's worth looking into at least. Now, we're human beings, and as human beings, we usually are not thinking about something that's not right up in our face. If it's not right up in our face, we don't care about it, it doesn't exist, there's no reason to even consider it. I'm so myopically focused on what I think I need to do that I'm going on with my life, whether it kills me or not. So take those blinders off, all right? Let's think about some other things. Now, one thing to keep in mind that we, as individuals, might not know an answer to something. And if we have a problem or we need a solution, it's quite possible that somebody else might have that answer. Somebody in our family, somebody in our work group might have the answer to the solution or the question that we're asking. So that's why we need to ask. We need to throw that out there. When we're discussing our plan of action or our plans of action with our family for our emergency plan, or we're discovering or discussing plans of action with our work group and our business environment, It is very important to pull in their feedback to find out what's going on. Quite often, somebody else will have a solution. Now, I know this because it has happened to me. More than once, I've been just like, I can't figure this out. And somebody else says, well, Dan, let's use a bungee cord in this thing and wrap it around that tree and it'll hold it up. And I went, duh, you're right. Let's do it. So other people have solutions. Let them be the solution people. That's right. It's a good thing, all right? So remember, just keep in mind, we're not always thinking about things we're not thinking about. We're not thinking about it if it's not right up in our face, and there is always a time and place to think about the other thing. The other thing could be the can opener that you don't have, the parent or the individual who is disabled and might need some help. Have you thought about your pets? Do you have pets? Goldfish? Well, maybe not. But your dogs or cats, your cockatoos, yeah, you might want to think about what they are going to do. So there's a lot of other things that building an emergency action plan relate to. So there's additional resources down below this video somewhere. There's called EAP resources, and it's a link to a page with a bunch of lists, a bunch of information. Now I'm going to tell you straight up front, this information is, most of it I've taken from other places, and I'm freely giving it to you, so you will see it, and it'll say it's from the American Red Cross, it'll be from the National Fire Protection Association, might be from the Center for Disease Control, and I'm not going to change that and say, look what I did. No, I'm going to leave it just like it is, because that's what I did. I took their stuff, I think it's valuable, and I'm making sure that you get your hands on it. So in the EAP resource page, there might be some solutions to things you might not even thought about. Just take a few minutes, go on there, download the information. Oh, if you find a link that's broken, that's always possible. Just let me know so I can correct it. Also, register to receive this. Down below somewhere, there's a little link or a little place you can register to receive updates on the blog. If you're watching this on YouTube, there's places to update so you can receive updates on new YouTube videos. It's always good and important and valuable to keep your information current. I do that the best I can, and I'm trying to help you do that yourself too. So just remember, there's always something else to think about. So right now, I want you to think about just how well your disaster plan is. How well are you able to facilitate protecting yourself, your family, and your loved ones? And if you don't know, well, down here there's another link called EAP Workshop, the Free Disaster Emergency Planning Assessment, what I call the DEP assessment. It's going to be a quick 20 question survey. It's all on one page. I know, 20 questions. Answer it between the scale of 1 to 10. 1 being, oh my God, Daniel, I haven't thought about that. 10, we're all done deal, Dan. We don't need to do that. And we'll get an assessment. Then you will be offered a link to schedule a one-on-one personal Zoom or phone conference call. And we'll go over your assessment and see if there's things that maybe you can do to address some weaknesses in your disaster and emergency plan. This is Daniel with Emergency Action Planning and the Act ASAP podcast. Till next time, be safe.